After getting to know the whole situation, Claudia was not the only one who was surprised. Even Lily was astounded too. Had she known Dustin's identity, she would not have let Kirrin drive him away so easily. After all, he had helped her daughter. It's fortunate that nothing serious happened. Had we thrown the pill away, Sheila would have been in grave danger. Lily shuddered to think of what could have happened. She considered herself lucky that she still had the pill with her, or the consequences would have been unimaginable. Sheila is safe for the time being, but the coldness within her has yet to be completely eliminated. After checking on Sheila, Kirrin ordered, "Claudia, go to the medical center and get Dustin here." "But Uncle Kirrin, you don't really believe that the fellow can cure Sheila, do you?" Claudia's expression was one of disbelief. She had a preconceived notion that Dustin wasn't a trustworthy person. "I'd just like to see what treatment plans he has to propose," Kirrin clarified. Of course, he did not think that a youngster in his 20s would have any mind-blowing medical skills, but the fact was that the pill he gave them proved to have phenomenal effects, so he was curious as to where he got the pill from. "Claudia, listen to your Uncle Kirrin. Sheila's condition is of utmost importance. We should get him here to see what information he is able to provide us," Lily urged. "All right." Claudia nodded reluctantly. Over at Peaceful Medical Center, Dustin made himself a pot of tea when he got back. He poured a cup for himself and another for Hunter. Hunter took his tea respectfully. Dustin and Hunter had known each other for years, but they had never had tea together before. "Mr. Rhys, didn't you say that you need the gozera berry? Have you given up on it already?" Hunter asked curiously when he saw how laid back Dustin was. "Of course not. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity." Dustin sipped on his tea. The right opportunity? Hunter found it difficult to understand what Dustin was implying. "According to what I observed yesterday, Sheila will be experiencing another bout of attacks soon. And this time, it will be much worse than it had been before. No one in Swinton will be able to help her," he said calmly. "So that's why you left them with the pill? So that they will come to you of their own accord?" Hunter quickly understood. "That's right. Actions speak louder than words. It's much more practical to prove myself with actions than to try and convince them with words." Dustin nodded. "And what if, by any chance, Kirrin did not take you seriously and threw the pill away?" Hunter mused aloud. Then he would be sending his daughter to her grave with his own bare hands. Dustin shook his head. If he really acted so rashly, then he would have no one else but himself to blame. Just as they were conversing, a black Hummer pulled up at the entrance. Claudia strode in with her head held high. "Come with me, Dustin," she commanded. "Follow you? Where to?" Dustin continued to sip on his tea leisurely. "Don't play the fool with me. Of course, we're going to Fallridge Haven." Claudia frowned. "Whatever for? We're not welcome there. In fact, we were driven out just a while ago. I wouldn't want to go back there and bring trouble on myself." Dustin shook his head. "You!" Claudia gritted her teeth. How she wished she could beat him up then and there. That was a misunderstanding. "We won't drive you out anymore." She suppressed her anger. "Even if you won't drive us away, we're still not going. What do you take us for, making us come and go as you wish?" Dustin took another sip of his tea. "What exactly do you want?" Claudia was so angry that she was itching to hit someone. "Sure, I can go over, but under one condition." "And what is that?" "It's simple. I want the gozera berry." "The gozera berry? That is meant to be used on Sheila. I cannot promise you that." Claudia glowered. "If you won't agree to that, then we do not have a deal." Dustin continued calmly. "I've said it once, and I'll say it again. The gozera berry will not cure Sheila of her disease. If you can't make the call, then get me someone who can." Claudia huffed angrily as she whipped out her phone to give Kirrin a call and brief him about Dustin's condition. A while later, she nodded and looked Dustin in the eye. "Uncle Kirrin has agreed to your condition. If you can cure Sheila of her disease, then the gozera berry is yours," Claudia said coldly. "Deal." Dustin smiled. He got into Claudia's car, and they made their way to Fallridge Haven, leaving Hunter astonished and in awe. As expected of Mr. Rhys, he has every move under his control, Hunter thought to himself. When Dustin returned to Fallridge Haven yet again, he noticed that a group of doctors had gathered around, and they were mostly people who were influential and of high status in Swinton's medical field. "You've finally returned, young man. Please, come in." Lily greeted him enthusiastically the moment he entered. It took him a moment to get over his discomfort. "You said you could cure my daughter of her disease. Do you mean it?" Kirrin asked solemnly, as stern as ever. "Of course. Surely I would not have come if I did not have the confidence to cure her. I just hope that you will make good on your promise, Mr. Murray. Dustin smiled lightly. Of course, I will. But you'd best deliver your end of the promise, Caden answered frostily. We'll see in a bit. Dustin did not bother to explain much more. He quickly went forward to the emerald bed to check Sheila's pulse. Just as he predicted, she suffered from the rare disease of polar frost. It was an unusual condition that only came around once in a century. People who suffered from such conditions had the potential to achieve great heights if they practiced a special form of martial arts, as it would greatly enhance their powers. However, the problem was that people who suffered from the condition usually had very short lifespans. The polar frost within them was like a great vortex that continually absorbed the coldness of the universe, so much so that the body was unable to take it. Newborn babies would usually die prematurely before they hit the age of 1. Fortunately for them, the Muis were filthy rich, so Sheila had made it to this day from all the medication and herbs that she consumed. However, the coldness that she had been absorbing all these years had reached a tipping point, and all the medications which had served to suppress it before were no longer effective. How is it? Can you cure her? Caden asked skeptically. It's a bit tricky, but I can do it. Dustin nodded. All right then, I'll let you have a go. But bear in mind, if anything happens to my daughter, I'll see that you pay for it severely. Caden threatened. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Just as Dustin took out a needle and was about to apply it, a roar sounded at the door. Hold it,